What's going on, guys? After my most recent video, I had someone reach out to me asking how we got this more grimy effect on some of these archways right here. So I figured I had a little project to do, so I would just kind of demonstrate it right here. So these are the, what is it called? The galvanic magnevents, I think is the box I picked up. But it's any of the walkways that come with the GW products. And the really easy way that I've done to paint these, kind of similar to like box art stuff, is I've done Wraithbone just for the white textures here. And then just like the corn red spray or whatever it's called. So that's like my little base coat. And then all I do is throw this streaking grime from AK Interactive all over it and then let it dry. It takes usually 24 hours to get like a really nice like dry on it. And then after that, you can just come through and kind of texture it up if you want to. But I mean, this is just that process without any additional work. I mean, I can definitely come back here and dry brush some of this and make it look a little bit like nicer on the red or even on the white paneling. But this is the result without doing any extra steps. This is just prime, streaking grime, and that's it. I'll walk you through like the little process that I do, but it's super simple. Alrighty. So the thing with this stuff is it's kind of top heavy, and I have definitely spilled these before. Think like Nuln oil, but like even worse to clean up. But anything you can do to keep this guy from spilling. I found this clamp in my garage, so I'm just using that as a base. So no matter even if I wiggle it a little bit, it's not going anywhere. I was thinking about just taking a piece of tape and rolling it up and sticking it on the bottom. Anything you can do to avoid this thing toppling over is going to be so helpful in the long run. But really, all you do is just get a brush full of this gunk and you just dab it everywhere. You know, just kind of wipe it on. I'll show you the finishing result when I got two hands to play with it. Alright, so here's what I was talking about. It ends up just being super gunky, and you can tell that it's like not dry at all. But what I'm going to do now that all the cracks are like relatively filled, I'm going to come through just a paper towel and just wipe away whatever I can. And so it should give something similar to this, where it's like the flooring has been kind of, the dirt is collected in all those little areas, but the place where people's boots usually fall kind of end up scraping it clean in a very unclean kind of way. So here's like them side by side so you can kind of get a better visual, and then I'll show you what it looks like after I wipe it. Alright, so you can see the difference here now too. The middle one, it's still wet, obviously. I just wiped it down, but this is what it's going to end up looking like. So you can see all the grime is still like deep in there. Like these wires, you can paint them up too if you really want to. The little valves down in there. But then everything gets wiped away, so it has this dirty kind of look to it. And you can even add some chips in here and whatnot. But that way the grime is still like deep embedded in there. And these two even look a little bit different too. I think with this one, I really like let it sit and then wiped it away. And you can even see some of the gray plastic. Here, I won't zoom in too much. The gray plastic is still sitting there. But that even gives it kind of a rough, worn look. Yeah, so here's one more look at all of them. And I'm going to go ahead and do the red ones and the white ones. Show you the finished product. Alright, well here is the finished product. So you can see that deep down there, there's all this wet grime right here. And that's going to go ahead and dry up probably over the course of the next 24 hours or so. I'm just going to leave these in my garage. They'll just sit out here all night. It's about like maybe 6 o'clock or so right now. So I'll check these in the morning. Let them just kind of sit out in the open air. And usually they'll be still kind of tacky the next day. But yeah, maybe like another day or two goes after that and they're totally fine. Like these guys, I think, yeah, they were tacky not too long after, but right now they're completely fine. Yeah, and so that is how to get that easy effect. Maybe after after they dry, I'll do another part of the tutorial and show you how to kind of edge them up a little bit and make them look a little more weathered, add some more detail on top. Okay, so this is 2 days later. I tested it about 24 hours afterwards, and it was fine enough, but some of the little edges were still a little bit malleable as far as the texture would go. Like some of it would smear with enough pressure, but now 48 hours later, it's completely fine. I took a little dry brush on some of these, so you'll see that this one right here is exactly the way it dries, no additional touching of anything. And then I dry brush some red over the top so you can see some of the details is a little bit more pronounced. And then this third one, I did a little bit of red and silver. And to be honest, the brush was a little wet when I did the silver, so it wasn't perfect. And I don't think I really like the silver, but it just adds a little more of a metallic feel to it. But I think this middle one is absolutely perfect. So that's kind of the final result, and that's how easy this whole project is. And as a little honorable mention, I'll show you a building I did in the exact same style. This Mechanicus building that has the red on the outside and then the same techniques that we learned on the inside, just like that. Super easy, makes a really nice effect. And all your buildings don't have to be this way, but the red walls give it that, you know, industrial kind of feel to it. Similar to maybe the Golden Gate Bridge for you Californians out there.